Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. In this video, should be a shorter one, we are going to combine like terms. In the last video, we talked about like terms. What are they? They are just simply numbers that have the same variable and exponent afterwards. They need to have both the same variable and the same exponent. If I have two sets of like terms, I can do something really cool, which is combining them. What this does is it takes really long, complicated mathematical expressions and shortens them and sweetens them into really easy math problems that we can solve in minutes rather than hours. So how do we combine like terms? Well, in order to combine like terms, it's very important that you put those like terms next to each other. In the last video, we talked also about reordering expressions, and you can do that as long as you take the term along with its sign. So combining like terms is really about two steps. The first step is taking your expression and making sure that all the like terms are in their own separate groups. Then step two is to add or subtract those like terms to combine them. So let's try combining like terms in this first expression up in the top right hand corner. Notice I've got some like terms here. I've got 2x, I've got 3x, and then I've got 7. Doesn't really have any other like terms with it, but it's there. Notice also that my like terms are in small pocketed groups. I've got all my x's, all my terms with just x next to each other, and I've got all my terms with nothing just next to each other. So there's no reordering that needs to be done here. It's in a perfect order, ready to combine. So how do we combine like terms? It's actually really simple. To combine like terms, we add or subtract based on the sign next to them. So right here I have 2x plus 3x. I'm going to combine them by just going 2 plus 3, which is 5, and then dropping the x down. It's that simple. I've just combined 2x and 3x because it was a plus sign. Why does this work? Well, let's just symbolize it. 2x is just 2x's. 3x's is just 3x's. There you go. If I add them, how many x's do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5x. That's all combining like terms is taking the two terms and then adding or subtracting them. Since there's nothing to combine with this 7, I'll just drop it right down. And there we go. We have simplified our expression by combining like terms. 5x plus 7. Now, you might be tempted to take this a step further and go, well, Mr. Grapp, isn't 5 plus 7 12, so the answer is 12x? No. Please don't overcomplicate it. This is as simple as I can make it, because 7 is its own term, and it doesn't have a variable or an exponent, so it can't combine with this 5x. Since these two numbers are not combinable, I keep them as they are. Let's try the next one. I'm sure with the more we do, the more easy this will become. If we look, I've got two like terms here. I've got 5 and negative 3. But in between them is the number or the term positive x. So I'm going to need to reorder this. I think the easiest way to reorder this would be to move this 5 over to the very end. So let's do that. I'll put down the 7x right here. 7x, cross it off. And then the minus 3. Excellent. And then since this is a positive 5 and I'm moving it over, I'll just put plus 5. Okay. So now I've reordered. Notice, all my like terms are in their like groups. I've got my 7x by itself because there's no other like terms that are like 7x. And I've got all my my two like terms, my 3 and my 5, next to each other. That makes adding or subtracting them so much easier. Now I just combine like terms. There's no like term with 7x, so I just drop down the 7x as is. And then I do this right here. Negative 3 plus 5. Well, what's negative 3 plus 5? Hopefully you've mastered the integer operation unit already. But if not, fear not, for you have this beautiful piece of technology called a calculator. And if you pump in negative 3 plus 5, you'll end up with a positive 2. And that's my expression. 7x plus 2. Hold on, Mr. Grapp. Hold on, Mr. Grapp. I think I see an error. Wasn't it a minus sign and now it's a plus sign? How did you switch that? What happened? Well, this is a common mistake I see people make all the time. They think, well, since it was subtracting in between them, this also needs to be a subtraction sign. But please don't fall for that trap. The term that goes down below is the result of -3 plus 5. -3 plus 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ends up being positive 2. When I combine these two terms, positive 2 is left over. And that's why we end up with a positive 2 down below. Okay? This sign is not what was there previously. It is the result of combining the like terms. Let's see if the next example gives us an example of that as well. Here we go. Let's find the like terms. Well, I've got x and -3x. Beautiful. Those are like terms. They both have the letter x in the same variable. Exponent, I mean. And I've got -5 and positive 2. Once again, like terms. No variable, no exponent. They can be combined. But it's all out of order, so let's reorder it. Again, variables to the left, letters to the left, numbers to the right. This looks fine. The x is already to the left, so I'm just going to keep that right there. Don't need to move that one at all. But maybe I want to move this -3x in between these guys. So I'll do that. X minus 3x. If I put it in between those two guys, I'll put the -5 right afterwards. And then whatever's left is that positive 2. There it is. Cross them off. And there we go. I've got a new expression. Nice and easy. Let's see if we can combine some like terms. Well, x minus 3x. This is another case of having an invisible 1. You don't see a number next to that x, but how many x's are there? Well, there's 1x, so we call this 1x. And so to do this, to combine these like terms, we'll just go 1 minus 3. 1 minus 3 gets us -2. And since they're both x, it's -2x. Let's combine this next one over here. -5 or -5 plus 2. Once again, knowing how to add and subtract negative integers will go a big, long way in this unit. -5 plus 2 is -3. And so my simplified expression is just -2x minus 3. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to cap it off for this video here. If I had to break it down into those simple notes, here they are. Combining like terms just means taking two like terms and adding or subtracting them based on the sign in between the two. The way you do that is you take the numbers, you add or subtract them, and then you put the rest of the term next to it. Sometimes we need to reorder our expression so that I have all my like terms next to each other. My x's next to each other, my non-x's next to each other, my constants. When I combine like terms, the sign I use to combine them is whatever is the resulting sum or difference of the two numbers was. For example, this was a negative sign before, a minus, but then when I added 5, it became a plus. And last but not least, if you don't see a letter next to, or a number next to a variable, it's a 1. Because you see 1x, it's 1x. And so you just use a 1. 1 minus 3 was -2. 5 plus 2, or -5 plus 2 is -3. All right, another longer video, but sometimes it be like that, folks. I'll see you in the next video where we discuss something called the distributive property. Until then, ta-ta for now.